Hi, this is Attila16 and this is a video guide for Wargame Airland Battle. In this case I will present to you one of my most effective deck for the Pact, and this is actually a Russian restricted deck specialized in tank. So I will now explain to you how it works, and then I'll show you how effective it is in 10 versus 10, which is a good place to test out those decks. So let's get on with it. So the first thing, of course, is to have a UAZ, which is command vehicle. So you get the cheapest one. This way you can replace it. The reason why I'm not using a tank is because sure, it can resist enemy artillery or that kind of stuff, but it's also a big target, and once the enemies sees a command vehicle, they will take everything in their power to destroy it. So it doesn't matter if it's a big tank or a small UAZ. So I'll go with the UAZ, and also UAZ can be easily concealed. Okay, then I use the Ural 4320. This is the second version of the Ural. It's 20 points, and it carries 1,250 liter of supplies. So this is a reliable vehicle to resupply, and it goes pretty fast on road, so it's practical. And you need some land unit for resupplying, because if you only use air chopper to resupply your units, they might be spotted, and they might tell the enemy where your weapon that needs reloading or repairing are. So it's useful to have some trucks. Then I use the Mi-26, which is this amazingly big unit. And with two of them, you essentially have the same amount of supply as an entire FOB. So this is literally a mobile FOB. So you can rely on that, and this will be very useful during a battle. Okay, so I have two group of them because this way I have the equivalent of two FOB. In terms of infantry, I have the Mortar Infantry with BMP-1D. What's interesting about the Mortar Infantry is that they are not particularly expensive, and the BMP-1D has a grenade launcher and a cannon. So this is a good unit for all purpose on the battlefield, and can be very practical to have them to clear forest. They're not the best unit in forest, but the thing is that this is what I will qualify as an all-around tool. Then here I have actually another group of Mortar Infantry with a BMP-3, and many people are wondering what's the point of BMP-3, and many people stop their analysis to the Bastion missile, which is an acceptable missile, but it's less good than BMP-2, for example. But what's interesting about the BMP-3 is the fact that it has a cannon and an autocannon. So it's like a light version of the BMP-T, and it doesn't have as much armor, but I think if you put that vehicle in wood or in an area where you know that there will be close quarter combat, it's a reliable tool. And also the range of the autocannon is pretty good for against land unit. So and since it has a cannon, it can also shoot on tank. And the missile is for the longer range, and even though it doesn't have so much accuracy and AP power as other BMP, it's totally acceptable. And so you just need to see it as a BMP-T or a light one. Then I use Peter Conquer with an Mi-8 TV, and the reason why I'm using this is I will deploy those ATGM unit in a key location at the beginning, and hopefully that will they will gain me some time against the enemy offensive, especially against tank, while my own tank will come in. So this is like a fast moving thing, but at the same time it's not recommended to make them face enemy infantry. So don't go into big towns against with these, because it's not an offensive tool against infantry. But against tank, they are pretty good. They have 9 accuracy with the Conqueror and 19 AP power. Also 8 round, which is a good amount. So it's a reliable group for that. Also for the Mortar Strelski, I'm using them with veterancy, while these I'm using them with trained. So I don't expect them to fight so long. It's mostly a kind of proper defensive unit for open space, where this deck will be ideal, essentially. Okay, in terms of support, since I'm the Russian, I use the Tunguska. The best version here, I use 4 of them, so Arden. This is your ultimate anti-chopper vehicle. If you look at the stats here, the range against chopper is 3.5 kilometer. Now you only have 4 of them, so be careful about them. Usually if you're good with these, you can actually survive all the battle with them. You don't call them 4 at a time, you call them 2 at a time, and with 2 you should be able to destroy nearly any chopper attack. And if you're careful and do not expose them to enemy fire, you should be able to really last the entire battle with them. Also, one thing which is important about that unit is that you will need to disable the twin autocannon, because this is a radar guided twin autocannon, and as a result of this, enemy anti-radar planes will be able to destroy it. So if you disable the autocannon, there's only the missile here which remain, and these missiles are actually laser guided, so that means that seed plane won't be able to destroy it. But truly this unit is against chopper. That's your tool against chopper. You bring them in, bring them out, depending the need. Okay, then I use the Buck MI1, actually M1. And this unit is like the ultimate packed anti-air. It has 4 rounds. And the range on these are amazing. It's 4.5 kilometer. This is your ultimate tool against plane. The only thing which is important is not to lose them, because you only have 4 of them, and you can be sure that the enemy will try to use seed mission on them. And but if you keep them well defended, they will destroy any plane that shows up, including stealth bomber. So this is why. But also I have a complementary strategy in relation to that unit, is that I'm actually using the 9K33 OSA, and this unit is really inexpensive. It's radar guided, it has a fast rate of fire. It's actually pretty acceptable as an anti-air, but the reason why I'm using this with the Buck is that I deploy at least 3 of them in front of the Buck in a line, so that enemy seed plane will prioritize the destruction of these inexpensive anti-air before actually targeting the Buck. So this is a reliable unit for being destroyed. At the same time, in terms of anti-air capacity, the rate of fire is really good, so it's a good unit. Then here actually I have more Buck. These are not as good as the first version, but good enough. The range is 4.2 kilometer, and these I will only bring these if the first type of Buck has been destroyed. So it's a kind of replacement. But normally, if you're good at what you're doing, you will never have to call these. Then here I have some Tunguska. This is less good, but good nonetheless. This remains a really good anti-chopper weapon. Just look at the range of the missile. Once again, you have to disable the twin cannon, autocannon. Well, what's that? Twin autocannon, because of the radar, in order to preserve the unit. At the same time, the range against chopper is 2.8, so that means that This unit will be good in forest or ambush position against chopper, because the chopper can fire at the same range as this unit can fire on the chopper. As a result of this, this is a good anti-chopper, but it's certainly not as good as a previous Tunguska. But it's a good filler, and also you can use them as a distraction. You just put them in front and you make them patrol, and the enemy will see a Tunguska and will be afraid to bring their chopper in. Or at the same time, it might attract enemy plane to try to destroy it, meaning that your other anti-air will be able to destroy the incoming planes. So this is a kind of a good filler. At the same time, it's not the main tool for this deck. I will say it's the two first anti-air which are the best asset you have, completed with the OSA, and then if that failed, you still have your backup anti-air, which are the Buck and the other Tunguska of a lower quality but still effective nonetheless for in their specific function. Okay, then I also use some Mortar Infantry. Mortar, I should say. This is the Nona, and this is actually a really reliable mortar unit, because if you look at the HE power, it's 8, 7 rounds a minute, and it's a little armored, so it can survive a few hits. At the same time, this is a very practical tool, because it's mobile. You will keep it close to the battle. It can defend itself up close, but that's not what you use them for. So you use them mostly to target anti-air and infantry and supply vehicle. It won't kill any tank in terms of artillery capacity, but I think this is one of the best mortar you can have with the Russian. I could have gone with this, which is an amazing piece of artillery, but I think you can only have one per group, so that's not enough. And I think the Nona is more flexible in the context of a deck which is oriented on mobility and tank. Okay, now let's go into tank. Here I use the T64BM. I actually rarely call it in, but this is actually a reliable tank. It's very mobile in all situations. It has 4 missiles which have a range of 2.6, so that's pretty good. A cannon which has a really good range as well, and machine gun. The frontal armor is 16, which is very high. The top armor is 3, the side armor is 7, so this is a really powerful tank. It's equivalent in many ways to a T80. The only difference nearly is actually there's no difference nearly. So and it's less expensive. So this will be a very reliable defensive unit because of the missile. And but I rarely actually call these one. Then I have some T80U, which is also a unit I don't really call so much because it's really expensive. So you only call this when you're really winning big time, or you're having so many points that you don't know what to do with them. At the same time, having that unit make it a good bait, because the enemy sees a T80U and they get only focus on destroying it. So as a result of this, you can literally bait the enemy air force to come and destroy it. So in combination with your anti-air, this is a good unit to have. And at the same time, if you're actually so rich that you can call them in, they are also a pretty amazing tool to destroy whatever shows up. And also the T80U have a really good rate of fire. That's something which is important. But one of the downside of it is that it only has a top armor of 3, which is the same as the T64BM. So that means that this is really a tank against tank and vehicle. But let's go to the next unit. I'm using a T72B and a T72B1, and these two are actually really interesting because the B version actually has missile, which make it kind of similar to the two prior units. But what's interesting about the T72B and B1 is the top armor, which is 4. And this is why I'm really interested in that specific unit, because with an armor like that, it's actually able to survive at least 2 cluster bomb strike. So this means that at the beginning, especially when everybody has a strong air force or strong air force availability, this tank is actually ideal to survive airstrike. And as a result of this, it might even survive better than T80U or T64BM. Also, the missile is pretty accurate and powerful, so it's a good defensive weapon. The only downside to it is that it doesn't have a rate of fire as high as the previous tank, and it's not as good in terms of firepower. But since at the beginning everybody brings in a lot of air force usually, this tank is a good fit for the situation. And also the T72B1 doesn't have a missile, but it has similar capacity and will resist as well to airstrike. So these T72 are a good resisting force against airstrike. So if you're facing an enemy which is air strong, they might be a very good choice there. Then I use a T80, and T80 basic one. What's interesting about this tank is of course the rate of fire of the cannon, which is 10 rounds a minute. It doesn't have a missile, but since it's branded as T80, it has a tendency to attract the attention. So it will get targeted by the enemy or will scare them away at the same time. This is very effective in all contexts because of the rate of fire of the unit in question. The front armor is pretty good, the price is okay, and side armor is good as well. This is a good tank to start with because you will be able to attract the enemy attention, or you will be able to destroy the enemy as fast as possible because of the rate of fire. So I use all these units with different level of experience. I mostly set them to be at least 4 units because I like them to be in group of 4 because they are pretty strong, and you will not want less firepower from them, so you want to maximize them at group of 4. Also, so it depends. Just use 4 of them. Also, since there are 4, you know that's your only amount of troop of that type, so you use them in the right context and you don't confuse them with other troops. So quickly you know what you're having. You have 4 of them, and that's it. Well, this one version though, the T72B1, I have 8 of them, and that's because this one is less expensive and it's literally an attractor of plane, and it's expected to receive airstrike, so you might want more of them to resist longer, so you might have to replace them. So that's why I use 8 in that case. And also all those units have a really good range in terms of cannon range, so that's important as well. You know that they will be able to outfire the NATO counterpart. Okay, so Recon. Now I use Recon Chopper. I think these are the most reliable one. This MI2, that's like your inexpensive Recon that you can risk, so you'll move it first. And if the zone is clear, you move your MI9, which has an exceptional optic, and as a result of this step-by-step advance with Recon is that you won't lose your best one, while the other one will also reveal stuff, so you just advance one after the other, and you only risk your cheapest one. Then I use a BRM1 because it's a land unit which has exceptional optic. Doesn't have much firepower, so it's not a unit that you want to put into combat, but the exceptional optic on it is worth it. And also, since it's a land unit, it can be fairly stealthy if you put them in the wood. Vehicle. BMPT is the choice there. The BMPT is like your ultimate anti-infantry unit, no matter where the unit is. So it can kill infantry in wood, forest, open field, everything. That's your truly ultimate anti-infantry unit. And on the other hand, it's not really good against tank, so you need to preserve them. And also, since they are fairly well, they are not as expensive as they used to be, but it's a good unit and people will like to target it. So, but it's very narrow in the use you'll do from it. So it's against infantry, and that's it. Helicopter. Now, since this is an armored deck, I only have a limited choice there. So I use Mi-28 because I'll use the chopper for a mostly defensive purpose. And with those Mi-28, they have so many missiles that they can destroy an entire tank force all by themselves. So that's why I'm using them. At the same time, they are big targets, so you don't use them carelessly. And I use 2 groups of them. So if I'm careless the first time, I have a backup plan. Okay, in terms of plane, the Russians have many different planes, but in this case, since I have a very strong anti-air support class, I only have 2 groups of Su-25T, and the reason for this is that I'm mostly relying on my ground force, and I will only call in planes at the well, if I'm really in trouble, which rarely happen because I have very strong units. So you only call that Su-25T if you have a good view on the enemy, especially anti-air. They can destroy them pretty quickly. And once the anti-air are destroyed, they have so many missiles that they will be able to destroy quite a bit of tank around the place. So this is a really strong unit if used well. At the same time, this is only a unit that you will call when you're really sure that it's safe. So it might be a good idea to watch the rest of your team perhaps clear out the enemy anti-air, or what you can do is use the Nona here to destroy the anti-air. So it's a good, it's like the ultimate support. It's like an A10, and this is very effective. Okay, so that's it for this deck. Take a good look at it, and now we'll go give it a try. Alright, so I'll be using this deck on the left side in this case. While here I will actually put my UAZ behind the building, which will cut the line of sight. Same time, many people believe that they will put their command vehicle in there, so let's bombard it. That won't be my case, so it's a kind of useful thing to do. So the first thing I do here is I want to destroy as many planes as possible, even though this is a tank base deck. So what I'll do here is I'll bring my Buck, I'll bring my Tunguska, and I will also bring some T-80, and yeah, there we go. I will also bring some supplies, you never know. And I will answer this guy, there we go. Okay, so the way it works is that I have my T-80, which are a really strong force, and I will deploy them in that small amount of bush there. Then I will deploy my Buck on the side here because it's less obviously placed. I don't deploy them on the road here because sometimes there's enemy airstrike, which might destroy quite a few of your troops. And yeah, essentially that's why I'm moving on the side here. At the same time, as you progress on that forest here, you will ultimately get an angle on where the command vehicle might be. So that's a useful move. The Tunguska will be my anti-chopper protection, while the Buck will be my anti-plane protection. At the beginning, what I'll do is I'll turn off the radar on both as they move, because I don't want them to be destroyed by a seed mission. So I'll just move there. So disabling the double autocannon on the Tunguska. and disabling the radar here as well, while the T-80 will move on that position here. Now the reason why I'm moving them there specifically is that if the enemy actually captured the zone here, I want my T-80 to be able to destroy whatever reinforcements come from there. Also, if they capture the zone, I want my my anti-air force to be able to destroy whatever planes come in from there. At the same time, I won't climb my buck on the hill because I don't want them to be visually accessible to the enemy. While my Tunguska might do some insertion on the plateau at the beginning, but I won't keep them there because Tunguska, especially this type, is expensive and rare, so you don't want to waste them. And look, the enemy is already bringing some troops there, some Hawk. That's a great target, by the way. And my ally here is doing a good move with the ATGM in there, so I could probably complete his ATGM defense there with my own ATGM, but I don't really have much to offer there. The enemy is bringing a lot of anti-air, so they were expecting a lot of anti-air plane action, but that probably won't be the case from my part, because I only have Su-25. And yeah, those planes are pretty good, but not really good at let's see, hunting down anti-air. So what I'll do here is I'll stop my buck. I'll click X to spread them around. I'll move my Ural nearby where they can actually shoot on stuff. Well, here I will stop my buck so they can actually destroy Nighthawk. There we go. Yeah, we actually destroyed 2 Nighthawk there. There's some Tomcat around, but yeah, my buck will actually target those. Another Nighthawk was destroyed by my buck, so that's 3 Nighthawk that our team actually destroyed. That's pretty good. Now they also bring their planes here. Now I have a Recon chopper, but what I'll do now is I'll actually bring in my 2 Mortar with let's say BMP3. Okay, let's destroy that Kiowa there with my Tunguska. There we go with the Kiowa. That's their recon force. I will actually try to destroy the other Kiowa over there, which will cut their vision of the situation. While here you can see my T-80, which just killed a unit of 130. That's pretty good. Okay, let's destroy those Kiowa over there. There we go. I will pull back my Tunguska. There's no point risking them. And here, and my Cubs don't seem to have a good angle on the enemy. While here you see that my T-80 are really destroying whatever pops up in front. So actually not controlling this area is actually a good situation for me right now. At the same time, we need to be aware of potential enemy air raid. I guess here I could maybe reinforce this position. That might be risky because there might be anti-air around. The Harpoon has a rate of fire which is too low to beat T-80s. So, and also when they spawn Abrams here, my T-80 are superior to their Abrams, so that's another aspect. Okay, so my BMP3 are now in range here. I'll move them through that forest. BMP3 is, I will say, the light version of a BMPT. So, and it's not pretty similar when you hear it. Alright, so climbing the hill, and I will move there, and from there I'll be able to hopefully have an angle on whatever is over there. Okay, so on that side I have now my choppers, which I'll land here, and I'll make my ATGM unit enter those buildings on foot. in two group. I could group them up, but I think it's wiser to divide the risk on multiple building. Okay, there we go. Moving in. There seemed to be some tank in there. That's something we need to take care of. Yeah, as you can see here. I guess I should target them with my units. That's probably a Raven, or what is that? Tornado. Okay, that's a Raven. Okay, let's target that Raven. And now let's target that other Raven. Okay, this is it for that. Other Raven down. There's another Kiowa over there. Oh, my Tunguska are way too far. Now that's another advantage of the BMP tree, is that it has another cannon, which is also good against chopper. There we go. Well, here I pulled back my Tunguska way too far. That's overachieving uselessly. Okay. Let's keep moving forward. Now my T-80 are shooting those chieftain over there. Now let's move my ATGM unit in there. And I will try to destroy those Seahawk over there, which are likely moving to destroy my tank. Actually, they were destroyed by my BMP-3. There we go, another chopper was destroyed. My Ural here are out of ammo. I'll send them to rearm here. Okay, there we go. Pulling back my Tunguska behind cover. Now, sadly, the enemy actually did an airstrike on my poor BMP-3, which is a shame. So I will have to replace them. So let's call in more. And they will be good to clear out that side there. Well, here I actually need to bring in some Ural to rearm my ATGM unit, which is low on ammo. There's some Roland here, which can be a bit of an issue. They are likely coming here to destroy my Mi-2, but as a result of this move they will likely die to my Peter Conqueror, which I won't complain about. And yeah, sadly they are hiding. So what I'll do here is actually I will bring in my Nona. And my Nona is my mortar unit, and it's pretty good at destroying light units, so I will bombard the Roland which are in there. The enemy is making me waste quite a few missiles on them. There was an airstrike of something here. I'll make sure to spread out my anti-air. Now you see that my T-80 have been there since forever, and they did not die yet. At the same time, we did not push hard yet, because in this context on the side here, it's not particularly important to push forward. At the same time, I should check the ammo on that side. It's starting to be low. So I might send a relieving force made of, I guess T-72B will be good, but it's kind of expensive for me at the moment. Okay, good. My troops are now being rearmed or reloaded. I will move one of my group of Peter Conquerors into this building ahead, which will give me more range on the enemy. My ally has some T-80U, which are receiving some toe fire. If I was him, I would not risk the T-80U, but let's see how it goes. Yeah, I think it's my Peter Conqueror which are killing everything right now. Okay, let's pull back that Ural. While here, we'll need to send those Ural much further inland in order to be able to... actually, that might be a good idea to send Ural toward the forest to make them die. Okay, let's move in with my BMP-3, and I will also call in my T-72B as a reinforcements force or relieving force. There's some Norwegian Leopard over there, which are not a particularly strong unit. I will send another supply vehicle here. Since my Peter Conqueror are really doing the job at the moment, they're chasing down the enemy vehicle far away. While here my T-80 are starting to be low on ammo up to a certain point. Could be much worse, but okay, there's some Seahawk there, but let's focus my attention on that side there. So Panzer Grenadier were disposed of very quickly. My BMP-3, BMP-3, sorry. So much similar. They survived one hit from the Panzer Grenadier anti-tank weapon. And here there's some Cobra, which will be destroyed by my Tunguska. 4-1. And that's 2. No, actually they're not dead yet. Okay, there's a Lav 25 there, which just got destroyed very quickly by my BMP-3. Now let's see how it goes there. We'll see the worth of the BMP-3 there. Destroyed one before getting destroyed, but it was facing 4, so that's pretty good. Okay. Moving in with my infantry. Now the enemy is also sending a Lynx over there. Well, here there's some Marines. So Marines will be killed by my BMP-3 as well as Mortar Infantry. Enemy chopper are destroyed by my Tunguska. Now my Tunguska are starting to be low in ammo. I will pull them back for the moment. Okay, I seem to be able to push them back. Moving my BMP-3 on the side here where they will be able to fire their missile as well as autocannon. I think since the area is pretty secure, I will pull back my T-80 to make them rearm. Well, here my Motostrelsky will hopefully dispose of those Lav 25. No, sadly, that's not the case. Okay. Now there's a chaparral over there. I believe I have some Nona. Yep, I did. I did not use them yet, I think. I will destroy the chaparral over there, which is a proper target for mortar. the same time, this ammo truck here is empty. I will bring some replacement. Okay. Well, here, yeah, Lev 25 might be too much for my Motostrelski. Although those Afghansky might be a good distraction. But I will bring in my T-80 soon. We'll call in some BMP 1D, which have grenade launcher that might be effective at stunning the enemy. Yeah, those Lav 25 are way too strong for my infantry. So it is a waste to actually use infantry there. But my T-80 are now rearmed and ready for action. While here I will replace my Mi-26 like this. And I will continue to bombard those Roland with my Nona. Okay, so let's move my T-80 in there. We'll also move my Tunguska alone. And since the area is pretty secure, I will move my Buck forward as well. Because I do have my T-72 which are covering this area. And the thing is that you see the Thunderbolt are starting to be threatening to me. Also have my BMP-3 which are covering here. Well, that should be pretty good. Now my only hesitation here is the fact that we don't hold that forest on the right side. I think I will take action on that. So moving. Now at the same time I'm keeping my T-72 close here because it's possible that our command vehicle will be destroyed, and that will be rather annoying if that happens. Well, here you can see that there's a presence of Lynx TOW 2. Some Leopard 2 are coming. Okay, so my T-80 are now taking care of whatever is hidden there. There we go, destroying this, destroying that. Moving forward. It's clear that my my units are not adequate to take care of Leopard 2 all by themselves. So I guess I will have to call in some reinforcements like this. While here I'll spread out my Buck in case of potential attack. While my T-80 here are a little exposed, which I'm not happy for. Well, here my Tunguska are a little exposed. I will activate the radar guided stuff. My Mi-26 is way too exposed there. I will pull it back. My BMP-1D will pull back as well. Well, this Thunderbolt seemed to be receiving the fire of my Tunguska. It's kind of weird that the chopper are being concealed by the smoke. Okay, so my T-62 here are advancing carefully. I guess I should move my Recon forward in order to have a good view on what's going on there. The Falcon over there was destroyed pretty quickly. I will destroy this Roland too, which is dangerous for my Recon. So you can see now the effectiveness of those T-72, and we now have a visual on the enemy units over there. It seems that the enemy actually destroyed one of my Tunguska, which is unfortunate. but it was to be expected. Well, here I will destroy that tow launcher there. Oh, he seemed to be taking the initiative. Yeah, he took the initiative, sadly, at destroying me. The thing is that those Tunguska are really good at long range, but at short range it's not as adequate. Okay, what else is going on? I guess I will move forward my T-72, and I will, as I move forward, I will shoot at the enemy. I seem to have lost my T-80, which is a little sad, but I guess we'll be living with it. And here, what can I destroy? There doesn't seem to be that many anti-air. Yeah, there's actually a lot of anti-air. Okay, I guess I will replace my... well, I'm not sure if I need to do anything right now. I'm destroying quite a bit of stuff without necessarily exposing much to the danger. I guess I need to refill the ammo of my T-72, so I will move one Mi-26 over there. My T-72B are making a good job all by themselves. Now let's see what kind of unit I could rely on at the moment. I guess I'll use a Recon here, just to have a good view on what's over there. I'm not too sure why the enemy brings out his anti-air. That seemed a little dangerous. I think that's one of the last anti-air over there. So we'll destroy it. And now that this is destroyed, I can try to destroy the enemy Leopard 2, which are dying pretty badly. Actually, my SU is done, which is not practical. Okay, let's destroy those over there. I can see how powerful the Su-25 is. Switching target. Want him to turn and attack those over there. It seems that it won't work. Engaging another target. No, too close. Okay, we seem to be taking over this place. I'll move some BMP 1D into the forest there to take it. And those Leopard 2 are dying under the fire of our Su-25. There we go. Okay, my MiG, my Mi-26 was out of supplies, but there we go. Victory. So if we check this, I had 5,000 damage inflicted to the enemy and 1,000 damage received. So that means that I did 1/4 of the round in terms of damage for victory. And if we check what was a very effective T-80, were really well placed at the beginning. The Buck did some damage as well. My Peter Conquer were really good as well. BMP-3 also did kill a few, not much, but it was okay. T-72B did kill a few as well. Mi-28 did kill some Leopard 2, which are really expensive, and Su-25 also did kill some Leopard 2 and Roland and that kind of stuff. So all my units did quite a lot of damage, even though I had very few of them. And you can see that my Buck here actually destroyed the F-117. Tunguska destroyed choppers. And the tank did destroy what they had to destroy. So I think I did not really use all units, but that's because with this deck each unit are so powerful that you don't really need to rely on quantity. It's all about using them carefully. So I hope you enjoyed that presentation of the deck, and if you would like to want specific, well, to see a specific use of a specific deck and in the future, tell me which one. So I'll see you around.